Fighting out of the blue corner under Boxon Muay Thai from Mackay, known as the Honeybee, please welcome Jye Van Pollen.
Yeah, Jye's got just quite the fight record. 30 fights, 21 wins. I've had the pleasure of announcing a few of his fights now, especially down in Mackay. Go down and do the powerhouse shows down there that his coach June actually runs. So, and me and June go back a fair way. We used to train together when we were kids in the 90s. So, you know, there's a there's a bit of a camaraderie there. So, you know, my heart goes on the Boxon team tonight. It definitely will, and I'll try and call it down the line the best I can. But I've got a lot of love for the Boxon team.
Good man. Yeah, and look, it's bees and honey for money if you're a fan of Von Pollen tonight. I had the pleasure of calling his last fight down in Victoria, where he took on an ever tough and ever present Salman Hashimi, former WBC state champion, and really looked the goods that night. Came up on the wrong end of an interesting judge's decision. Super close razor fight, but showed that he's coming leaps and bounds, and of course he's got the experience, but shown that he's really developing his IQ style as well to take on an experienced technical fighter like Hashimi. So looking forward to seeing him tonight up here in Queensland. Always a fan of Von Pollen when he mixes up. Of course, former WMO state champion, 63.5 kgs, the super lightweight bracket. Always exciting. They've got a ton of power, and they've got the speed to back it up too. And look at this, come ready to fight, sir. Yeah, look, and just that good mix of speed and power, right? Sometimes we can get a little bit too heavy on the power side as the boys get a bit bigger. But actually, we've been pretty blessed tonight with just good technical fighting, right? Like I won't say I've been shocked 'cause I know a lot of these guys, and we've all been around for a little while now up here. But the fighting, like you said earlier, has just been tight all night. Yeah, we've seen some finishes, but not mismatched finishes from what I've seen.
Fighting under the Thai boxing pit from Perth, Western Australia, please welcome Cian Lougheed.
That's not a small record either, is it? 18-9-1.
Yeah, Cian Lougheed from the pit up there in Western Australia, one of the finest outfits that we have in this country. Produced so many champions over the years, and Cian Lougheed, he's part of the new generation and doing the goods both here on home soil and overseas. Mixed it up on RWS, the Rugged World Series. Late last year, took on a really tough Iranian, and it was an absolute bloodbath. And whenever you see Cian Lougheed's name on a card, well, you better get out your wallet, rustle down the couch for your last pennies, because he knows how to put on a show, absolutely. Trained by Roy Wills, one of Australia's great knuck boys from the years. He was a real staple of the Rebellion Muay Thai product down there in Victoria, known for his beautiful kicking game, and at the time was trained by Blair Smith, who's now handed the keys over to Roy Wills and is living his life over in Thailand. But Cian Lougheed, he's really been coming on strong of late. Like he's always been such a powerful guy, a fast starter often, but has shown like he's got some new wrinkles to his game. He's shown the ability to fight off the back foot now, stay nice and patient. Anytime he gets any sniff of a clinch, he'll take it, and he can do some real damage there. Now, I don't think fighting in the cage, like for a lot of traditional guys, it's a bit of a throw-off, but for a guy like Cian Lougheed, I mean, he'll do this at a phone booth and
that's what you love to hear,
car yard
right?
and a back paddock for $20.
Yep.
He just loves to fight.
It really does change things, right? No corners. There's nowhere to stick your fighter that you can kind of start to unload. They'll just slide off to the side. It really changes. Even though if you're a pressure fighting, like putting up people against the ropes, it just doesn't work the same in the cage.
No, it doesn't. That's right. So, as we see Cian Lougheed enter the cage at Elite Cage Fighting in Cairns. What a night and what a fight we have on our hands here.
And look, the boys got a lot to live up to after that last one. That was just fireworks for 5 rounds. That was so much fun.
Mate, I had the absolute pleasure of joining you a fight early to set cage side for that one. And Mate, we had half the crowd join us at the table, didn't we?
Yeah, I had some extras join me there for a little bit. I knew I was in Cairns.
In the red corner from Perth, who wants Cian Lougheed to win?
Last show I had to actually grab someone off the side of the cage, so I'm glad that hasn't happened so far. And I've seen worse at a cage show, so I'm pretty happy.
Well, I've got a bad back, so I'm leaving all the funny business to you. I hope you join the action at home from wherever you're watching from tonight. Our pleasure to bring you this one. Cian Lougheed in the red and Van Pollen in the blue as Cian Lougheed opens up his account with a hard inside low kick.
Yeah, a bit of a cautious start here by both boys. These guys aren't silly, right? They're not going to rush in and do anything dumb, get caught.
Tee from Cian Lougheed, open up inside on the leg, and Van Pollen goes high with the right kick that makes the connection.
Yeah, oh, and those elbows are landing in there too. Very dynamic. Van Pollen, he just throws, just knows how to sit on his punches nowadays. It's taken him a bit of time, but now he just throws with so much power.
You notice these gentlemen fighting in 8-ounce gloves compared to the 4-ounce gloves from the last fight, but with big strong lads like these and 8-ounce pieces of leather, there's still not much between you and the fist as Cian looks to close the distance early, maybe showing his cards there.
Yeah, look, he really wanted that one, didn't he? He showed his experience too, though. Didn't reach too hard. He just he was searching for it, but realised it wasn't quite on.
Trying to step through with the elbow of his own now is the Western Australian. Van Pollen up against the cage for the first time.
Yeah, he was doing a good job of just maintaining distance then. You can tell Van Pollen doesn't really want to play this game with him. He'd rather stay at range.
A good elbow to create separation. Resets to the middle does Van Pollen. Boys take a breather. A little bit awkward, you see, because both lads have been to the same hairdresser during the week. As Van Pollen steps back, sneaks the right hand in over the top.
Good little body kick there, and a little return jab there by Van Pollen just over the top. Another good kick.
Yeah, that left kick.
Got some sting, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Cian fought one of my boys down to Victoria, Isaac Tomlinson, and knocked him out through his guard with that kick. It's got some real pep and a little bit of paprika, a few herbs as Cian looks to close the distance into the clinch, but Van Pollen, he's out the back door like he's got grandma's jewelry in the VCR.
And he just wants no part of it, right? He's doing a great job of just killing that clinch early.
Yeah, and the pit guys are known for their ability to clinch. Of course, Toby Smith, one of their finest fighters, one of the greatest Muay Thai knee fighters we've ever had in Australia. So it will suit Van Pollen to play to his strengths in this one. Stick on the outside and punch and move just like that.
Showing us some great boxing so far. Just really fast, accurate hands. And, you know, that always pays off later, right? You just start landing those like that. Beautiful combination. End with an inside leg kick.
And, of course, this one contested over 5 3-minute rounds. So, the full journey tonight. So any investment you make at the start of the fight, you might be able to make a withdrawal on later with interest as Van Pollen looks to see this one out with another low kick. He's gone early. He's gone low early. Cian's been focused on the body, trying to get into the clinch, but it's been the boxing of Van Pollen in the first. That's drawn blood. The first blood streaming now from the nose of Cian Lougheed as he goes to the corner.
Yeah, he's it's all been Van Pollen's kind of boxing that's been the only really determining thing we've seen, right? Cian's got that great kick. It's so hard, but he just can't get behind it at the moment because every time he's in that range, Van Pollen's lighting him up with hands.
As we see on the replay here, Cian looked to close the distance to get into the clinch. He didn't have the best position with the right hand sticking on the outside, and the boys not familiar with having the cage at their backs. It provides a different resistance.
It does.
And we see Van Pollen just separated out. Beautiful pictures brought to you here on Community TV. The right high kick from Van Pollen
that was
a
the
good
early
one.
Yeah.
And just finishing it off, a little cherry on the top of that combination. Did a good job to get his hands out on the inside and some good elbows. Van Pollen's looking dangerous with the elbows in the first round.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of those little tight elbows, and again, we've already talked about it, but that ability for him to not have to fight in the clinch, even when he is, he's safe. He's just doing what he does well in there, throwing those short elbows, but he's looking for separation so he can go back to his, more kickboxing style. We'll call it that because he wants to be at range.
Yeah, both boys playing to their strengths and figuring this whole cage thing out. It's quite a spectacle here at the Fred Mule Centre in Cairns. It's my second time here, and when I saw that Chris was putting on another show, Explosive Fight Promotions, I said, get me a ticket, sir. There's nowhere else I'd rather be on a Saturday night than up here in Cairns in 500% humidity.
Yeah, look, and the weather's kind of cleared up for you. I think it's still raining in Townsville, but we've had about 8 weeks straight of that rubbish.
Unbelievable, mate. Well, I did my little see you later rain dance. Glad no one was there to see that, and it's come up trump, so invoices in the mail.
We've had sunshine here in Cairns today, which is a good thing, but here we go, round number 2.
Yeah, the sun's shining on these two as they look to do battle in the second. Cian going back low with that. It's a hard leg kick, isn't it?
He just switches those feet so fast.
Very fast. Has always been a fast guy. As he comes in.
Just caught there by the jab, though, on the way in.
Yeah, the chin lifted, but managed to get the last laugh with a hard left kick to the body. And that will take some sting out of the right hand of Van Pollen. That big left kick of Cian crashing home. Inside position for Van Pollen with the left arm, which allows him to get a good knee away. Cian looking to improve his position to a more dominant lock, but struggling to lock Van Pollen down at the moment.
Van Pollen's getting that inside position, a little slip there on the edge of the cage, but he's getting that inside position on that clinch there and kind of really owned that position, which bit of a shock because we haven't really seen that yet. He's kind of wanted to disengage more.
Well, the thing with clinch fight, especially over 5 rounds, is Cian will wear on Van Pollen's ability to persevere with that inside grip. And over the course of 5, we'll see if that game plan comes up trumps. Van Pollen looks to keep it at range now. Cian having none of that comes through, crashing in a southpaw with a big right elbow.
Yeah, and as he's coming in there, Jye's just landing those punches, right? Just that 1-2 down the middle, that really basic striking, which, he doesn't throw as a basic human, but it's the stuff you can teach the day one guys, and at the highest level, it still works, right?
Yeah, and so does that huge right thunderous low kick from Van Pollen that destabilised Cian Lougheed.
He swept him off his feet.
Swept him off his feet, and we're not talking candlelit dinners and sweet nothings.
He didn't buy him a drink afterwards.
And the left kick from Cian was on the money, and he continues to score with that. That'll favour him well in the judge's eyes.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, you keep landing those body kicks and we don't see much else differentiate the fighter. That can be the telling sign, right?
Absolutely, and the left kick continues to land from Cian once and twice, and
it's almost like his jab.
It's super fast. And mate, if you've never been kicked in full pout with a bare shin and the arm,
I don't suggest it for anyone.
Don't suggest it. Absolutely. Cian goes high. That's high.
That is a beautiful up elbow there. Just as he was entering again, he got a bit, I like to call it the Frankenstein. He had both hands out there reaching. And the thing is, he got a bit desperate for that clinch then, and he got caught with it.
Well, he's raced up like Frankenstein to answer the referee's call.
He has.
Here comes Van Pollen. He's swarming, a swarm of bees here in Cairns. The elbow lands again from Van Pollen.
This is where he's going to just sit on. Oh, that is a huge left hook. It's those hands. Van Pollen knows how to sit on those punches.
Yeah, huge punch, big hands like a Foo Fighters video from Van Pollen, and he's cut Cian above the eye. How tough is Cian Lougheed? But round 2 was all about Van Pollen. What a way to stamp your authority at the end of round number 2. First it was the big elbow, then he came in with that huge left hook.
Yeah, look, he set that up with that beautiful step-up elbow, and then he could smell blood. He turned into a shark out there. It was just all over him. Knew he had a short amount of time too, so he knows he's about to get a break. He can kind of go nuts, right? That 10-second clacker should mean go, not stop.
Yeah,
and a lot of fighters get that wrong.
As we see on the picture there, beautifully timed, short right elbow, socking up the elbow straight to the jaw. And let's see if we can pick up the picture here. It was the big left hook from Van Pollen that caught Cian right at the end of round number 2, and it was a good one. Cian, he's back on his feet over in his corner. No better man than Roy Wills in your corner to try and steady the ship. Just adjusting his cell phone and his keys there.
It was a little bit south, that kick, but did graze off the cup.
It was a pitch
it's
from
on that exit, right?
Just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And down went Cian. Sat down, had a long, hard think about what he was going to do, but he answered the call, got back to his corner. And the thing with five, when you fight in 5 rounds, you have got 2 minutes, and that 2 minutes couldn't have come at a better time, could it, sir?
Yeah, it's a big recovery time the guys get in between rounds. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I like the 1 minute. I really think that too long of a break is well, it's harder on the fans too. You know, for those guys that don't understand that this is, you know, some fights are, some fights aren't. When we have those different breaks and you have these different, especially on a show like this, we've got all these different rule sets tonight, you know, it can people to get too confused. But it's good for the fighters because we get a lot more action. They do get a bit more time to rest, but I'm all about those 1 minute breaks and go again.
Well, I'm perpetually confused and also known to finish things in under 2 minutes. As Cian steps up, hands very high now. He's got a bit of work to do. Two knockdowns in that round, and maybe on the wrong side of the judges' scorecard in the first as Van Pollen comes in trying to dust him up again with the boxing.
Yeah, he definitely could have been behind in that first round. Again, that was a lot closer, but that second round, you know, the judges had no choice but to score that one way and one way only, and heavily.
Van Pollen's doing an excellent job of just sliding off in an angle and fighting it with the hands.
Yeah.
He's not landing right in front of him.
No,
just getting slightly off that 50-50, slightly unorthodox footwork that Cian wouldn't be used to, as Van Pollen looks to pierce the guard. It goes high twice with the big left shin.
Just great high-level boxing and just cutting angles, right? It's like, it's not something a lot of Thai boxers do. A lot of them just like to stand in front. There's nothing wrong with that. But Jye's showing you what it can look like when you change it up just a little bit.
Yeah, look
and stay away from that, just, you know, stand in front, see who hits harder.
Doing great with the footwork is Van Pollen, who tries again for the same setup with the right hand, but finds it with the elbow there.
The axe elbow just kind of slid off a little early, but, you know, that's definitely on. That switch kick, though, is just there forever, isn't
the left kick's beautiful. I'd like to see Cian just go to a long guard here. He's playing that high 11s guard, and Van Pollen's just piercing it with the up elbow.
Yeah.
It's one of the shortcomings of that kind of defensive system. I'd see him just bring the left hand just a little bit further from his face, maybe posting the chest of Van Pollen. Digging to the body now is Van Pollen, huge right hand on him.
And, like, Van Pollen's happy for him to keep that guard up, and he's going to keep throwing punches at it because he's going to keep him honest up there, and then he is going to go to more body shots. And he throws good body shots too. Like, again, not a thing you see as much in Muay Thai. That's that, you know, those big rips to the body. But the guys that do it normally do it very, very well if they're willing to go downstairs with it.
We see Cian uses the long guard to get into the clinch here. Let's see what kind of work he can get away. He's bloodied and bruised. His face looks like a drop pie in the third round. Another elbow from Van Pollen, this time sneaking around the right-hand side of the guard again and again with the elbows. Like we said in the intro, Cian Lougheed, no stranger to a bloodbath.
Again, just good change of angles there. Every time Cian walks in, Van Pollen will switch one side or the other, and he's never going the same way twice either. And then that stabbing sort of lead uppercut elbow he keeps throwing, just keeps sliding through the guard.
Mate, this is going to turn into an elbow war here. The boys throw it down like a Ginsu 2000. They've stuck themselves inside a NutriBullet in Cairns.
That's probably his best offensive round, to end at least. He just got in there and wanted to mix it up.
What a finish to round number 3. When you thought Cian Lougheed was done, he came back with those big left kicks, made some good adjustments and found some elbows of his own. And Van Pollen with another huge start to that round.
Yeah, look, you'd be hard to bet against him right now. He's probably well ahead in the points, but we've still got a lot of fighting to go. And he's game, right? He ain't going anywhere until you put him away.
Yeah, and the guys from the pit, they don't quit by name and by nature, and they're always come in tip-top condition. And Cian Lougheed, he really turned it up later in this fight. The 4th and the 5th rounds is where he'll look to shine. And what I have to say of Van Pollen, he's been incredibly active with the hands. At what cost has that come? How he's had his foot with the pedal to the metal, every time he's left the lights, and that's going to take a toll on your gas tank at some stage.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go 100% for 5 rounds. I don't care who you are or who even you think you are. No one does that even at the highest level, right? There's got to be that to and fro. There's got to be that little bit of recovery, even during the round. So, you know, he's spent a lot of time throwing some bombs, and like they haven't gone anywhere yet, but we will see. I've always seen him turn up ready, but I haven't seen him go this far very often either. He's normally putting people away because those hands are just so hard to deal with, and he mixes it in really well with the rest of his Muay Thai technique. But he's just got such a high level of boxing that sort of sets him apart.
For sure. Interesting to see over here in the blue corner that the boxing team were applying ice to the right forearm of Van Pollen, and Cian Lougheed's been kicking that with some real bad intentions. A little bit of swelling on it.
It is a bit welted up.
Yeah, he's taken, but it doesn't look to have inhibited him at any stage. So maybe just some good preemptive corner work there from the boxing team. An experienced outfit, as you say. And here comes Cian Lougheed like a bull out the gates.
Definitely not their first rodeo. They know what they're doing over there.
Oh, spinning elbow connects from Cian Lougheed. Perpetual forward motion now in the 4th round with the Western Australian. Good hard knee, straight to the solar plexus, and again. Beautiful left kick again, and again, doubling up on it, blood streaming from the nose. Nothing but sheer determination, will and heart from Cian Lougheed.
Yeah, this is the start that he needed to get into these sort of the big boy rounds, right, as I like to call them, because this only happens at the highest level. Yeah, and now they're just going to go back to this elbow war that they finished the last round with. And
they're not going to get any arguments from me. How are you scoring this, viewers at home? This is really heating up now. The crowd, they've been spoiled for action tonight.
All night.
There's a left kick, the left shin thuds home.
I didn't think we would be able to match our last fight, and yet we're doing it right now. So I'm just super excited.
Oh, we're getting to the pointy end of the business. This is the main course with some great fights just around the corner. The cherry on top, Cian steps into the pocket. He's just all forward motion now. And you notice that the movement from Van Pollen is all but ceased as he stands right in front of his man.
Oh, that's a
knee.
Huge knee. That has changed it very, very quickly. He is just going to work. Oh, I'd hate to see him punch himself out here because he can just go back to that.
Oh, it's the liver compromise now from Cian Lougheed. Van Pollen looking to get him out of here. Blood streaming from the face from Cian, but it's the liver that's damaged. And again.
That is beautiful. Like, Jye put his foot down, but he also did it with a bit of caution. He wasn't crazy then. That's the experience, right?
Yeah, picked the shots beautifully, and it was the boxing that ended up sending Cian to the mat. The referee asked, do you want out? He said, no way, Jose, mate.
He ain't quitting.
This is right where I want to be. And the left hook connects now from Van Pollen. It's a good one.
Oh, and look, they're just flying knees now. That left hook is going to be back on any second. He's moving.
He's got a hammer, and that left hook goes back to the liver. Has Cian recovered to the body? He's taking some big damage.
We're at the point now where he's taking damage everywhere, right? Like, Van Pollen can just pick his shots, and they're all going to be effective.
There's a good knee on the return from Cian, who's never out of a fight, and connects with the spinning elbow. 10 seconds left in the 4th. Van Pollen just puts it into neutral.
Yeah, look, clever, right? Very clever. He knows he's got this round wrapped up. He didn't need to do anything crazy then. He shot his shot in that round, and he did everything the way he should. And then when it didn't kind of play off the way that he was hoping, he just backed off the throttle a little bit, enough that he can recover in between rounds and, you know, probably do it again.
And we see there the left knee of Van Pollen found the liver.
Got his face changed even after that. He went into go time straight away.
It was a beautiful shot, but Cian, nothing but his heart keeping him up on his feet. Then Van Pollen changed. He came upstairs with the boxing. The boxing was good. But right at the end of the round, Cian started to find something again. The big knee to the solar plexus and a big spinning elbow. to prove that he's never out of a fight, spinning around like Billy Elliott he was.
Yeah, well, Cian started the round on fire and then ended it really, really well too. So it just shows his composure, not just his toughness. He's obviously tough as hell, but he's actually able to still think. So he's, he's making the right decision at the same time, which that's, sometimes that's not what fighters are known for. A lot of them aren't good at decision making.
Incredible, look at that, beautiful pitches, just the connection between the fighter and the coach, getting just what he needs in the moment. And two very different looking situations from blue to red as Van Pollen gets his final instructions straight to the heart, trying to motivate his man as the boxing head coach. And on the other side, it's damage repair for Cian Lougheed. He's bleeding, he's cut, his body's compromised, but he's still in the fight, 3 minutes to win it back.
Yeah, and look, I would not bet money to say he's out of this. There's just no way in hell that I'd be willing to say that he's done. Like, on the way the points is going to go, yes, Jye's going to be ahead by a lot. But, Jye's not also going to just run away for this round either. I don't think that's in him.
And that's good news for fight fans as you enjoy the coverage here on Community TV. As Van Pollen in the blue with some work to do. And the honeybee, Van Pollen, getting his defenses tested early in the fifth with a big left high kick.
We can't give that kick enough credit, can we? It flies out of the gate and it's just accurate too. Every time he throws that, it's pretty much exactly where he wanted it to land.
That was a beautiful elbow there from Cian, who stepped in, parried down the lead hand and chucked the right elbow over the top. Nice. The left kick's been there all night.
It has. Nice eye guard there from Van Pollen. He kind of scouted that next head kick. He knew that was coming.
Cian trying something different this round. You'll notice he's playing on the back foot, trying to draw Van Pollen in.
Yeah, and he's switching his stance a lot too, which I don't think I've noticed that till now. He's thrown really good switch kicks, but he's never switched to southpaw, and he's done that a few times already. Maybe just trying to give that extra look.
So trying everything, the whole kit and caboodle thrown at this fight. Cian Lougheed hasn't come all the way from the other end of the country to die wondering as Van Pollen digs to the body with a big left hand.
Yeah, there's that body shot I was calling earlier. I knew that's in his bag of tricks, and he throws it so well, and it's very tight. And he doesn't stay on line like everything else he kind of does. He's off line enough when he throws that. He's not going to just be there for that short elbow down the middle.
Jabbing an inside low kick from Van Pollen. Half the round done now. 1:30 to play, 90 seconds. It's Van Pollen in the lead, one hand out the window. And the driver's seat as Cian Lougheed spins around like a Beyblade trying to decapitate Van Pollen. He needs something big now.
Both boys just keep throwing big shots. There's just no quit. It's that boxing there from Van Pollen, hey, that is the real determining factor in this fight. He just throws so hard and fast. But not only that, it's just super accurate. Super accurate,
that's right. Two of the best super lightweights in the country duking it out. For fight fans here in Cairns, as Cian throws caution to the wind and comes in with a flying knee as Van Pollen circles off for the right hook.
Yeah, look, he's doing exactly probably what he needs to do in this round. He's keeping the action on, and he's also just staying offline. Like, he stands in front of Cian, he is going to kick him with that left leg, and he's got every chance in the world of catching him as they get more fatigued.
Look at the blood on Cian. Just no stranger to a bloodbath, and the right hand crashes through and sprays the commentary booth with a little bit of human juice. The left elbow connects now.
A little bit of a souvenir for us.
15 seconds to play in what's been an incredible fight. The crowd will these two on to the end. Cian cuts for right elbow, but it's too little too late. And she's all signed, sealed and delivered from the Fred Buell Centre. What a fight, ladies and gentlemen.
What a fight.
They look like they've been in a car accident, the two. But you'd have to feel after 5 rounds, it was Van Pollen from boxing right here in Queensland, coming up from Townsville, who probably got the better of the action, had a couple of knockdowns. Cian Well, he fought right through to the very last second.
Oh, and no quit, Riley. You called it earlier. It's written on this shirt, right? You wouldn't want it if it was written on your shirt. But Van Pollen just, you know, he really just fucking worked so hard with that boxing, and it just kind of changed the game a little bit. But to Cian's credit, my God, he just, right until the end of that bell, he was in there throwing elbows, throwing that left kick, and was in it to win it.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got to think.
And I'll tell you what, the team here from Mackay, Boxon's based out of Mackay, the effort they had to get here yesterday, all the roads between Mackay and Townsville were cut. So they went to drive, couldn't, had to fly, then they had to drive. They went through just an ordeal to be here tonight. They didn't even make the weigh-ins. They had to get them, they had to do it somewhere else and do it remotely. So they had a real trying time to get here.
The Honeybee Van Pollen.
And pretty much how we called it. I don't think there was any doubt on that one.
Well, a well-earned victory. And well done to the team from Boxon and Mackay, making their way down here. A bit of an ordeal. Noah's Ark couldn't get them here for weigh-ins. She was coming down, as is the blood from Cian's face. What a fight. And
Van
you know, a
Pollen
picture tells 1,000 words, doesn't it?
Van Pollen got his own souvenir right at the end of that fight too. That all landed in that last kind of flurry. So he's not going home without his own little souvenirs. You haven't really been in a fight unless you're bleeding everywhere, have you?
Right, so ladies and gentlemen,
Especially full Thai rules, you know.
Short intermission break right now. So
no one was showing elbows if no one's bleeding.
I love it.
Oh
And
no, we're going straight in. Right, we just get the word now. We're going straight into the semi-main event. All right, we're going to be calling him up in a moment. So Fight Academy, if you guys wanted to get your tunnel ready, because we'll be calling him out in just a moment. All right, it's now time for fight number 12. This fight is sponsored by Fairway Lending Solutions. This is the semi-main event of the evening, a professional Muay Thai fight over 5 rounds at 66.6 kilograms. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 66, under the Fight Academy DF Gym in Cairns. Can you give it up and make some marvelous noise for Ryan the Demon McDonald?
yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we see Big Ryan McDonald make his